Welcome back to Online Darts, everyone. We are here, Chester Racecourse, and we've got Phil Taylor.
Isn't it lovely?
What a venue this is to play darts.
Beautiful place, yeah.
Look, obviously not playing tonight, a bit of a Q&A and everything like that for yourself. Is this getting used to life as now a non-playing dart player?
Yeah, unfortunately, times have moved on now and I can't do it. My mind is okay, but my body won't do it anymore, unfortunately. But, you know, I've had a good career and a long career as well, so I can't be too disappointed.
But last time we spoke, you were still in a little bit of pain from the operation. How is that healing process?
Oh, loads and loads better now. You know, so I'm getting there. But just unfortunately, everything's altered. You know, with having your body change, everything alters. And plus, I'm in my 60s now, so it's time now.
You still like being around the practice room and the buzz and chatting to all the
I
players?
love it. Yeah, they're good lads. I mean, Michael's Michael. He's always has a good laugh with and a bit of fun. You know, Luke Humphrey's a lovely kid. Steve Bunt, you know, I love anyway. He's here tonight. Big Russ Bray's here. So, yeah, it's been a good night. Seniors
on the horizon. Obviously, you're going there to do some punditry and some media work.
Yeah, but
you're excited to be back at the tavern in a different capacity?
It'll be different. It'll be different for me. You know, there's no pressure on me, so I can go and enjoy. I mean, I've always enjoyed it, but it's a different kind of pressure. There's no pressure on you where you've got to go up there and perform and hit 180s and 140s.
But the Seniors Tour this year, going into this year's World Championship, an incredible lineup. The players that have dropped off the tour have really boosted this Seniors competition now.
And the players what have come into the tour now are the players what have lost the tour cards. And I know Simon Whitlock, I said to you the other day when I was down in London that you're going to try your socks off now. Well, do you good, have a year off, as such, because you're not so busy and you'll be able to practice properly and dedicate yourself and get some rest in. Because when I saw him, he was absolutely shattered. So I think next year he may be getting his tour card back.
Look, obviously, you touched on being in London for the Moda Super Series Pluto TV launch. This is groundbreaking for the amateur side of the game. Underneath this 1-8, there is now a platform, a dedicated platform to them to go and play and get experience as well.
That's right, and earn a few pub. That's the main thing. You know, the lads can go down there, get good match practice, and also make themselves a wage. That's what it's all about. You know, we've all got bills to pay, so it's great for the youngsters and even the older players to go down there and earn themselves a good living.
And that experience of playing on a big stage, TV cameras, is invaluable. You can't buy that, can you?
No, you can't beat match practice. You know, you can play in your living room or your bedroom every day, but unless you play against other people, you don't know how good you are. So it's the best practice you can get.
Premier League this week, just gone up in Glasgow, was obviously marred by fans whistling and whatever.
Yeah.
And when you were playing, that was just starting to creep into the game. What's that like as a player on stage when that piercing whistle just goes through?
Horrible. It makes your eyes go wonky. It's the worst thing in the world and it should be stopped. But I don't know what the referees can do. You know, they ask, when Russ was doing it for me, I've asked him and he's done it, and then they go worse. They take the mickey out of you then. So if you can, you've got to try and ignore it. But I don't know. I don't think it'll ever change.
Well, you touched on it there. Is it a monster and a beast they've created that now can't be stopped? Because of 15,000 fans and whatever, you can't chuck them all out, can you?
No, it's never going to go. No, it's never going to happen. It'll never stop. It won't stop. Things will never get worse.
How do players adapt to that then? And is there anything that players can do to get used to it?
Yeah, headphones.
Go in price.
Like go in price. That's about the only thing you can do, really. Or put earplugs in. At least it takes that piercing noise off you.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, Rob Cross really last week, he should have won that, the first round. And the crowd just went against him and he put him off. You know, they're not used to it. I know you can get used to it in a little way, but when there's too many, it's wrong.
Is it a shame that big matches are being spoiled and the results are being dictated by not things happening on the board?
It's always been like that, though. You know, you've got to get the crowd on your side by playing well. That's what you have to do, you know. But when I first started, obviously people had the favourites and they'd shout for them, and then as you were playing better, they'd start coming to your side a little bit. Yeah. You know, it was good. So you have to try and turn the crowd, but now it's changed.
Losing battle?
Yeah. You know, and you remember playing in Blackpool against Terry Jenkins, and they were started then. And because Blackpool's always like the best crowd.
Yeah.
And I looked round and I thought, I'm getting ready for going here. I think I did about another 7 or 8 years. But I thought, this is not for me. You know, it's
Well, when venues like Blackpool go, you know you're fighting a losing battle because
Yeah.
Blackpool was always the purest, wasn't it?
yeah, of course it was. Yeah, it was the best for me. It was the best venue I've ever played in. Be honest, with the atmosphere of the place, just the building itself. But it changed.
Darts players now, because of the exposure and the way the sport is going, are being treated like rock stars
Yeah.
by the press, and we're seeing front page of the newspapers digging for stories. Obviously, you had that at your peak because you were the biggest story that Darts had seen. How does that feel? Obviously, like Luke, we see Luke Littler's family being chased to the chip shop and getting papped and stuff like that. What's that intrusion like? Is it horrible?
Well, it wasn't too bad for me, in fairness. I mean, talking to some of the lads tonight, the families are getting a little bit of stick now. You know, the kids going to school. If one of the dad gets beaten, then the kids at school are not bullying, but taking the mickey and being a bit horrible towards the kids. So it is a bit difficult. And I think if they carry on, I think the lads will put the kids in private school probably, which is a shame. But maybe that's the answer. I don't know.
Well, darts has always been so accessible, the people's sport.
Yeah.
But if it carries on this intrusion, will darts players be like Premier League footballers, living behind
You'll have to have
behind
security.
a fence almost and away from the public and things like that?
I've always called it a gilded birdcage. That's what it is.
Yeah.
You know, you're locking yourself away. You tend to shy away from the general public because you don't know what kind of people are out there. You know what I mean? Well, you see these horror stories every day. You know, so they'll end up with like the golfers where you have security with you all the time. You know, when you go out.
And obviously, look, the amount of money that you won through your career was unrivaled, but that took you 3 decades to win that kind of money. Now we're seeing the new Sky deal is worth multi-millions. Talk of the World Championship going to be £1 million, where players now can change their life in one tournament almost.
You can do it in 6 months. If you qualify for the World Championships, I mean, if you win £1 million, wow.
Yeah.
You know, but then again, today's thing, £1 million isn't life-changing money now.
Of course. Yeah.
You know, you probably need 4 or 5 million. Yeah. So it depends on your age as well. I mean, if you're young, £4 or £5 million might not last you. By the time you bought, because houses now, an average house is getting on for 200,000 or 300,000. You know, so but once you've got your £1 million, you knock your tax off it.
Yeah.
But it'll probably leave you about 600, and then you knock your 250 off, plus your managers.
Yeah.
You know, if he's having a percentage, so it's not as much to retire on as what you think it is. Sounds good, but then you've got to pay your tax on it, and you've got to pay whatever else on it. So there's a lot more to it than meets the eye.
I remember you talking about your olden days when you round by round, you'd be like, I can get a new set of saucepans, or I can get this for the house. Did you ever see the prize money being where it is now when you were playing?
No, never in a million years. I always said to the lads, if we get a good promoter, I mean, Dick Alex and Tommy Cox were trying the best at the time. We had other people trying, but they weren't like the Barry Earns or the main like Eddie Earn. Yeah. So I always thought if we get a good promoter who's interested, then we could climb up the rankings again and get probably where the 80s was. That was what I thought we'd get to.
Yeah.
But we've surpassed that now.
It's just remarkable the way the sport's going. We've seen the ADC relaunching the amateur game as well. From top to bottom, has darts ever been in a better place?
No, not at the minute. It's absolutely. I mean, everybody's flying. I see dart shops, shooting up every other day. Every time I put anything on TikTok, there's a new dart shop, which is brilliant. People are earning a good living for themselves, and so they should. They're investing, and long may it carry on.
You talking, scrolling through TikTok, are we going to see some power dances from the living room?
I hope so.
Phil, it's a pleasure catching up with
you.
Here in Chester. Thank you very much.
God bless.